Welcome back to another Deck Tech presented to you by Shire for Hire. If you're wondering why you're seeing this video again in your feed on YouTube, it's because, well, I fucked up. I did not even show who the commander was in the video, and of course it's Rakdos, Lord of Riots. The name of the title obviously is Rakdos, Lord of the Eldrazi. And for that, I do apologize. I figured, you know what, I just re-record the video and do it all over again. If you don't know what he does, he's a 2/2. He's a 2 red, 2 black, 6/6 flyer with trample. He is a demon. You cannot cast this spell unless an opponent has lost life this turn. We have ways of making him come out faster. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponent has have lost this turn. It's for opponents, multiple. So I've got pingers in here that'll work across the board. And yeah, he's just, honestly, he's my favorite demon. He's probably my favorite ramp creature in all of Magic. I've been a fan of this guy since he came out in, what was it, Return of Ravnica, was it? Like 2012, maybe? 2013? Whatever it was. But I always wanted to make a commander out of this guy, and I figured with a lot of the bulk that I had and some of the stuff I had to order to make it happen, it's finally done. -1 card. I've got an Aya Ugin coming in the mail. I flip-flopped on getting that card for a while just because of how freaking pricey it was, and then I finally just said screw it, and I went and I won a bid actually on eBay and got it for cheaper than I thought I was going to get it, but nonetheless it is on the way in the mail. So with that said, we're going to try to speed through this as quick as possible. We're going to start off with the creatures. We're going to go with the Keen Duelist. He's a 1 black, 1 colorless. At the beginning of your upkeep, you and target opponent each reveal the top card of your library. You each lose life equal to the mana value of the card revealed by the other player. You each put that card revealed into your hand. Is a 2/2. Win before you start playing the game. I've got ways to make this guy a lot more potent with enchantment spells. We'll get to those. But he is a great card, great cast. I mean, he's awesome. Stormfist Crusader, thinking about getting rid of this card just because she's just way too group hug for me. She's a black and a red 2/2 Human Knight Menace. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card and loses 1 life. Like I said, the whole group hug aspect, it's just, I'm not a group hug player. And by group hug, what that means is like everybody's going to get a benefit, but there's also going to be a penalty too. I would prefer to not have a card that allows my opponents to draw cards, but the 1 damage, I mean, I'll have to find a reliable replacement for her. I think I've got one, actually, and it's probably going to be an Eldrazi, but yeah. We got a Razorkin Needlehead. He is very thematic to Rakdos. He's 2 red, the 2/2 Human Assassin. Razorkin Needlehead has first strike during your turn. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Razorkin Needlehead deals 2 damage to them. Great card. Staxy card right here in Opposition Agent. She's a black and 2 colorless. She's a 3/2. She's got flash. You control your opponents while they're searching their libraries. While an opponent is searching their libraries, aka you, they exile each card they find. You may play those cards for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though or mana of any color to cast them. I love this card. I'm actually thinking about sticking her into a Saruman deck. We got a Spear, we got a Pinger. We need to get Rakdos out. This is one of the ways that we're going to do it. For 1 red, the 0/2 Defender. Tap him, Spear deals 1 damage to each player. So, like, you know, this is just going to be a way to get Rakdos out without having to worry about combat phases and stuff like that. Krinko, the mob boss, because, you know, whenever I think of Rakdos, I think it's a party. And if you don't have a bunch of tokens, are you really having a party? Come on. It's 2 red, 2 colors, 3/3, Goblin Warrior. Tap him. Create X 1/1 Goblin creature tokens where X is the number of goblins you control. Love this guy. Tiny Bones the Pickpocket, 1 black, 1/1, Skeleton Rogue, Death Touch. Whenever Tiny Bones the Pickpocket deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target non-land permanent card from that player's graveyard. A mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. He's picking pockets, he's stealing your shit. We love him. Tiny Bones the Bauble Burglar, another thief. We like it. He's great for this deck. 1 black, 1 colorless, 1/3 Skeleton Rogue. Whenever an opponent discards a card, exile it from their graveyard with stash counter on it. During your turn, you may play cards you don't own with stash counters on them from exile, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. For a black and 3 colorless, you tap them. Each opponent discards a card. Activate only as a sorcery. Ragavan, the Nimble Pilfer, 1 red for a 2/1. Such a great card. Monkey Pirate. Whenever Ragavan, Nimble Pilfer deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token and exile the top card of that player's library. Till the end of the turn, you may cast that card. Dash. If you don't know what Dash does, we'll do it for you. For a red and a colorless, you may cast a spell for its dash cost. If you do, it gains haste, and it's returned from the battlefield to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. Dude, every time he hits somebody, they're exiling a card, and I'm getting a treasure token. The treasure token is going to give me more mana. We're just going to keep dashing him in and out. Magus, the God of Slaughter. This guy just screams Rakdos to me, man. He's a red and a black and 2 colors. He's a god for 7/5. Indestructible. As long as your devotion to black and red is less than 7, Magus isn't a creature. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, Magus deals damage to that player unless they sacrifice a creature. At first, your opponent's just going to be like, yeah, I'll take the 2. But when the health starts climbing down, they're less likely to take that damage. So, he's great. He's awesome with Fiery Emancipation. I got a win off of that last week. Fiery Emancipation and Magus. That was great. Just boom, 6 damage. It was awesome. For 2 red, 3 colorless, a 4/3 Ogre Shaman, Heartless Headed Sugo. This guy, man, he's so brutal. You tap him. Heartless Headed Sugo deals damage to each player equal to half that player's life total, rounded down. Now, we got other cards in here that are going to combo with him. You'll see them. And the last of the one-offs, as far as creatures go, is, come on, man, it's Blightsteel Colossus. You know what he does. He's a 12-drop, 12 colorless, 11/11 Golem, Trample, Infect, Indestructible. Blightsteel Colossus be put in the graveyard from anywhere. Reveal Blightsteel Colossus and shuffle it into its owner's library instead. This is the only instance of Infect that we have in the deck. Not a lot of fans, there's not a lot of people that like Infect, but, the goal is to win. That's not to make friends. Scourge of the Skyclaves. This begins the demon part of the deck. It's 1 black, 1 colorless. His star, we'll get to that. His kicker is 4 colorless and 1 black. So, kicker cost counts as CMC. Well, it counts as part of his casting cost. So, with Rakdos, we're going to have to shell out 7 mana. And that's not very hard to do with him. So when you do cast a spell, if it was kicked, each player loses half their life rounded up. Scourge of the Skyclave's power and toughness are each equal to 20, minus the highest life total among players. He will always be in any black deck that I run. I'm working on a mono black deck as we speak, and he's in that. Here we have Herald of Slaanesh. He is from the Warhammer set. He's a 2/2 for red and 2 colorless demon. Locus of Slaanesh. Demon spells you cost 2 less to cast. We like that. We like ramp. We like bringing stuff into the field. Other demons you control have haste. And when we bring our demons out, they get to slap somebody as soon as they enter the battlefield. We're a big fan of that. The Abyssal Harvester. To me, I think he's an underrated card. I don't see him in many decks, whether it be Kali or Rakdos. Or I think I might have seen him in like 1 black deck ever. But for 2 black and colorless, creature, demon, warlock, he's a 3/3. He's a 3/2. You tap him. Exile target creature card from a graveyard. When that was put there this turn. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a nightmare in addition to its other types. Then exile all nightmare tokens you control. This guy is just... Listen, I have any nightmare that I replace is going to be replaced with a better nightmare. So, and we got plenty of subs in here. Valgaboth, Harvester of Souls for red and black and 2 colors. He's a 4/4 Elder Demon Flying Ward, pay 2 life. Whenever an opponent loses life for the first time during each of their turns, put a 1/1 counter on Valgaboth, Harrower of Souls, and draw a card. This guy can get big really quick, especially if you're running cards that will have opponents draw cards, or they'll take damage when they draw cards, like that Needle Flamed guy that I showed you guys earlier. Like these guys are really good together. Another demon that we've got Orcus, Prince of the Undeath. He's a red and black 2 colorless, and X in his cost demon, 5/3, flying with trample. When Orcus, Prince of Undeath, enters the battlefield, you choose 1. Each other creature gets X, negative X, negative X until the end of the turn. You lose X life. Or return up to X target creature cards with total mana value X or less from your graveyard onto the battlefield. They gain haste until the end of the turn. This guy he's something else. I'm a big fan of him. I like him a lot. We got a lot of creatures. We got 36 creatures, so you know he's digging some shit out. Another card you'll always see in my black decks, well, at least most of them, especially in my Edgar deck that is almost done. For 3 black and a colorless, we get Bloodletter of Aquazotz. He's a vampire demon, 2/4 flyer. If an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice that much life instead. Now, you put this dude with Heartless Headed Seku, and it's lights out, game over, pack your shit, go home. Master of Cruelties. This is always everybody knows what this guy does. I think at this point, unless you're new to the game and you really don't know, we'll go over it real quick. For red, a black, and 3 colors, he's a 1/4. He's got first strike, death touch. He is a demon. Master of Cruelties can only attack alone. That means if he's going to attack in this deck, he's doing it solo. Whenever Master of Cruelties attacks a player and isn't blocked, that player's life total becomes 1. Ouch! Master of Cruelties assigns no combat damage during this combat. Now, listen, there's combinations that you can run outside of Kalia that I think, I haven't run them yet. I do have them in the deck. I haven't come across it, but if I think it works the way that it does, you can still KO somebody with him hitting somebody. So, and he's a great card, and he's he's abusive. We have Indulgent Tormentor for 3 colors, 2 black, 5/3. He is a demon. He's a flyer. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card unless the target opponent sacrifices a creature or pays 3 life. It's another one of those instances, kind of like Mogus, except for this time you're drawing a card and they're losing 3 life unless they sack a creature, which, like I said with Mogus, early to mid game, it's not going to really be a thing, but it becomes a little more clutch towards the end. Harvester of Souls, I might replace this guy, I'm not sure yet. But for 2 black and 4 colors, he's a 5/5 demon, Death Touch. Whenever a non-token creature dies, I may draw a card. So it's my shit or your shit, as long as it's a non-token. We like card draw. Card draw is our friend. Here's another black include for most decks that I run that have black in them. This is going to be the Archfiend of Despair. 2 black, 6 colorless. He's a 6/6. He's a flyer. You know something about these demons? Most of them fly. Your opponents can't gain life. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life that player lost this turn. Great to go with Bloodletter of Aquazotz, the Sire, the Skyclave, whatever his name is, that 1 black and 1 colorless demon that I have. You end games with these guys. Pestilence Demon, I think he's our second to last demon we have in here. He is 3 black, 5 colorless. He's a 7/6 demon flyer. 1 black. Pestilent Demon deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. This is pumpable, so I can keep pumping this up and pumping it up if I have to. If I've got more health than my opponent, I can whittle them down. And if I've got that other card in there that's going to allow me to draw cards whenever somebody loses life, then I have a Villainous Broker of Death. He has to go in there, and I think I'll probably do that later. Last demon for the day is Valgavoth the Terror the Eater. He is 3 black, 6 colors, 9/9. He's a flyer with lifelink ward. Sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. That means if you want to get rid of him, you're going to have to sacrifice 3 of your permanents. If a card you didn't control would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with Valgavoth. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. He's got lifelink, so, I mean, whatever we're going to gain in health, we can sacrifice a little bit back and draw something else. So, I mean, it's a good way to stay on top of your opponents, I think. He's a great card. He is easily he's hated off the table. Let's just say that. Alright, let's get to the Eldrazi, because it's Rakdos, Lord of the Eldrazi, and they bring riots. For a red and 2 colors, he's a 3/1 Eldrazi Drone Devoid. He has no color. You tap him. Whenever you do, he deals 1 damage to each opponent. This is another way for us to bring Rakdos out, because remember, you cannot bring Rakdos out unless an opponent has lost life this turn. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, untap and it'll drone. Anti-Causal Visage. He is out of the Edge of Eternity set. Big fan of this card. It still surprises me that there was 1 sliver and 1 Eldrazi in that set, but, you know, I guess they wanted to keep small bits of love going for both of those tribes. But for 6 colorless, he's a 7/5 Eldrazi. When this creature leaves the battlefield, you draw a card. Then you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. That doesn't sound too crazy. However, when you get down to this part, Warp 4. You may cast this card from your hand for its warp cost. Exile this creature at the beginning of your next end step. Then you may cast it from exile at a later turn. So basically, I'm doing this twice. And the second time I bring him in, it's going to be for that. Great card. Conduit of Ruin. I think he should be in any Eldrazi deck. He is 6 colorless and is 5/5 Eldrazi. When you cast Conduit of Ruin, you may search your library for a colorless creature card with converted mana cost 7 or greater. Reveal it. Then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. The first creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. He's great for ramping. I mean, that's going to be Rakdos' thing, is we're ramping. So we may as well bring his brothers and sisters in a little bit quicker. Sire of 7 Deaths. God, this card is just, it's OP, I think. I think he's OP. He's kind of easy to deal with, minus that ward, but for 7 colorless mana, for a 7/7 and 7 abilities on this Eldrazi, he's got First Strike, Vigilance, Menace, Trample, Reach, Lifelink, Ward, Pay 7 life. He's got to be in you got to put him in Eldrazi decks. That's where he belongs. Ulamog's Crusher, one of my favorite Eldrazi for a really long time now at this point, since I guess they introduced Eldrazi. He's 8 colorless for an 8/8. He's Annihilator 2. Whenever this creature attacks, defending player sacrifices 2 permanents. Ulamog's Crusher attacks each combat if able. Now, mind you, I have a Strionic Resonator in this deck, so we're going to be copying instances of Annihilator, so Annihilator 2 will essentially become Annihilator 4. In some cases, it'll be Annihilator 6. And Artisan of Kozilek for 9 colorless, a 10/9 Eldrazi. When you cast Artisan of Kozilek, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Annihilator 2. We already explained what Annihilator does. Big beefy boy right here. Ulamog the Defiler for 10 colors. He's a 7/7. When you cast this spell, target opponent exiles half their library. Round it up. Exiles. Dude. Exiles. Ward. Sacrifice 2 permanents. Ulamog the Defiler enters the battlefield with a number of 1/1 counters on it equal to the greatest mana value among cards in exile. Ulamog has Annihilator X, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on it. You stick this with the Strionic Resonator, you can kiss your opponent's permanents goodbye. Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. He is 10 colorless for a 10/10 Eldrazi, one of my favorite Eldrazi cards ever made. When you cast the spell, exile 2 target permanents, indestructible. Whenever Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger attacks, defending player exiles the top 20 cards of their library. Again, with the exile word, we're not talking about sacrificing, we're talking about exiling. They're not going to the graveyard, they're going to hell. Kozilek, the Butcher of Truth. You guys know what he does. He's a 10 colorless at a 12/12 Eldrazi. When you cast the spell, draw 4 cards. We like card draw. Annihilator 4. And again, like I said, Strionic Resonator is in there. When Kozilek, the Butcher of Truth, is put into a graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles their graveyard into their library. We like that. We have Pathraiser of Ulamog at an 11 for 9/9. Annihilator 3. Pathraiser of Ulamog can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. And, well, unless you want to get smacked in the face with a 9/9, you better have 3 or more creatures. It That Betrays for 12 colorless mana. He's an 11/11. Annihilator 2. Whenever an opponent sacrifices non-token permanent, put that card into the battlefield under your control. Boy, another one of my favorites. And then the last creature for the deck is, yep, you guessed it, Emrakul, the Promised End. 13 colorless for a 13 Eldrazi. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each card type among cards in your graveyard. Think of it like a Tarmogoyf. When you cast this spell, you gain control of target opponent during that player's next turn. After that turn, that player takes extra turn. Flying, trample, protection from instants. Doesn't have protection from sorceries, but I mean, come on, for a 13/13 that's coming out potentially on turn 2, you know, whatever. Alright, creatures are done. Let's get to the instants real quick. We're going to try to not make this as long as the original video. We have Entomb. Search your library for a card. Put that card in your graveyard. Then shuffle your library. We're going after the big nasties like Emrakul, Ulamog, Kozilek. Anything that I'm going to need that works well with every hand that I have at the time. We're going for the throat. We're killing non-artifact creatures. Terminate, you guys know what that does. Deflecting Swat, a great clutch card for red 2 colorless. You control a commander. You may cast a spell without paying its mana cost. You may choose new targets for target spell or ability. Oh, you're gonna terminate my creep? No, you're not. We're gonna terminate yours instead. Great card. Bedevil, destroy target artifact, creature, and planeswalker. I think that's an auto include for any red and black deck. Murder, because it's murder. Hero's Downfall, destroy target creature, planeswalker. We'll get the sorceries now. We have Reanimate. We're using what we said before with Entomb, and Reanimate comes in right behind it. So put target creature card from any graveyard onto play under your control. Lose life equal to that creature's total casted cost. I'll take 13 damage if it means that you're also going to take 13 damage that next turn. Imperial Seal, you guys know what that does. Great card. Vandal Blast, we're getting rid of our opponent's artifacts. And if we overload it, we're getting rid of everyone's artifacts. Just not mine. Tempt with Vengeance is a red X colorless. It is Tempting Offer. Put X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens with haste onto the battlefield. Each opponent may put X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens with haste onto the battlefield. For each player who does, put X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens with haste onto the battlefield. Man, that's definitely word salad. But what it means is obviously I'm going to say I'm going to get 8 of the tokens, and my opponent says he's going to take 8 tokens, and then my opponent across from me says they're going to take 8 tokens, and then my opponent over on my left is saying, yeah, you know what, I think I'm going to get these tokens too. I'll have 32 of these tokens because it's for each opponent that also got 8 tokens. So this card can be hit or miss, but it's usually been a hit for me. Demonic Tutor, you guys know what this does. Feed the Swarm. Black doesn't have very much enchantment removal, but we have this. Feed the Swarm. Destroy target creature or enchantment an opponent controls. You lose life equal to that permanent's mana value. Worth the risk. If you got a doubling season out, I want it gone. For a red, black, and X colorless, Rakdos' Return. Rakdos' Return deals X damage to target opponent. That player discards X cards. We want you to get rid of your cards, man. And you're going to take the damage on top of it. Ruination for red and 3 colors. Destroy all non-basic lands. Because what's a Rakdos party if there isn't some kind of form of land destruction or board wipe? Obliterate. 2 red, 6 colors. Obliterate cannot be countered. Destroy all artifacts, creatures, and lands. They cannot be regenerated. Booyah. Worldfire. Was very happy when this card was unbanned because I always felt like this was a good game. It resets the game, and it just all comes down to who's going to top deck the best shit as soon as possible. So for 3 red and 6 colorless, you're going to exile all permanents, exile all cards from all hands and graveyards. Each player's life total becomes 1. Game restart. We'll take it. We have only 3 enchantments in the deck. Rakdos joins up. When Rakdos joins up, enters the battlefield. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with 2 additional 1/1 counters on it. Whenever a legendary creature you control dies, Rakdos joins up, deals damage. It deals damage to that creature's power. To target opponent. Another thing of word salad right there. This is a pretty dope card, and it stays within the theme of Rakdos. All right, we got a win con right here in Liliana's Contract. For 2 black and 3 colorless. It's an enchantment. Whenever Liliana's Contract enters the battlefield, you draw 4 cards and lose 4 life. Ooh, big deal. I'm drawing 4 cards. Take the life. I don't care. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 4 more demons with different names, you win the game. We got a lot of demons. We got like 12 or 13 demons. Some shit like that. Fire Emancipation for 3 red, 3 colorless. And if a source you control will deal damage to a permanent or a player, it deals triple that damage to that permanent or player instead. And we have lots and lots of ways to dish out damage. Not just creatures, but, our sorceries and, Mogus and all that other stuff. We got our artifacts right here. Your basic shit, man. It's a Soul Ring. It's an Arcane Signet. It's the Lightning Greaves. Strionic Resonator. To me, this is the most important artifact in this whole entire deck. We got Swiftwood Boots. We got Protection, and Haste. We like Haste. Urza's Incubator, for those who don't know, it's 3 colors. As Urza Incubator enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. So obviously, depending on what we have in our hand, we're either going Eldrazi or we're going with demons. Most of the time, you're going with Eldrazi. Creature spells of the chosen type cost 2 less to cast. Quicksilver Amulet. This is another clutch card. Great artifact card. Very underrated for 4 colorless mana. For 4 colorless mana, on top of that, you tap it. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. So if you can't get Rakdos out and you're not able to get that ramp, you can depend on this to get big creatures out. We're going to get to the land, and then we're going to shut it down. Obviously includes Command Tower. Caverner Souls, we're going to do creature spells almost every single time. Bloodstained Mire, we're fetching. Badlands, got to have the dualies. Blood Crypt. Dragon Skull Summit, Sulphurous Springs, Bajuka Bog, Eldrazi Temple, Ugin's Labyrinth, Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. We also have Eye of Ugin, like I said before, coming in the mail. That's going to be replacing one of our basic swamps. Besiju, who shelters all. It's going to basically, you pay 2 life. I had 1 mana pool, and we're basically making our instants and sorceries. You can't counter them. Or your opponents can't counter them. So yeah, Black Dragon Gate. We're going to bring this into the battlefield. We're going to call red as the other color. Think I might get rid of this. I'm not 100% certain, but as of right now, it's staying. Den of the Bugbear. This is a great card just because of this goofy ability on the bottom. I mean, shit. For red and 3 colors, until the end of the turn, Den of the Bugbear becomes a 3/2 red goblin creature token with, whenever this creature attacks, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. It's still a land. This thing is busted as shit. I love it. And then we got our mountains, and then we're going to replace one of the swamps with the Eye of Ugin. And yeah, that is our Rakdos deck tech. I just wanted to say I appreciate the support for the last video. That was awesome. It was single-handedly the best video that I have put out, considering my other content with mostly like Dark Souls games and Elden Ring and so on and so forth, and Diablo. But that one definitely, the Kaliad deck tech definitely outperformed what I was expecting from it. And like I said in the beginning of that video, that I wasn't going to make many videos like that, but I guess in spite of me saying that, I had to put out another one, because, I mean, this is fun to me. I have a good time doing this. I like sharing these decks, and I'm very curious as to what you guys run in your Rakdos deck, or even your Kaliad deck, or any deck for that matter. I'm going to put the, in the description, I'll put the link for Moxfield on there if you guys want to play with the deck, or fiddle around with it, or what have you. But for now, I am going to sign off, and thank you for joining me again. You guys have a fantastic weekend.